Welcome to this brand new episode of Backyard Barbecue Pit, the live edition. And today we are going to make some steak and potatoes, and we are going to show you how we've done it. So first of all, let's go ahead and flip over to the prep work of what we've done. And let me go ahead and flip that over for a second. So basically what we're using some Montreal steak seasoning for our steak. These are chuck steaks that we've actually bought at the store. We're also using some lemon pepper, and we're using some garlic powder and some onion powder. So what we're going to do is basically start sprinkling these seasonings to these steaks. And we're going to start off by basically sprinkling these steaks with lemon pepper. That is the very first thing you want to do. You want to go ahead and spread those liberally. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle some garlic powder. And basically the garlic powder is going to give it an extra sense of seasoning. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to spread some onion powder on our steaks. And then once we've liberally spread some onion powder, we're going to go ahead and use that Montreal seasoning. We want to be extremely liberal with that seasoning. And then as a plus, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to use some bacon grease from this morning's breakfast. Now I know some of you are wondering, why am I using bacon grease? Well, typically what I would do is I would use olive oil, but since I didn't have any olive oil, I decided to go ahead and use the bacon grease. I know some of those health nuts are going to be very, very, very disappointed that I'm actually using some bacon grease, but it's all right. The more the merrier. So once you've got that bacon grease on those steaks, you want to flip that steak over so that you can season the other side. And basically what you want to do is you want to season the other side because nobody likes a one-sided seasoned steak. So it's the same process altogether. We're going to go ahead and basically season it starting with the lemon pepper. It's going to get followed by the onion powder. And then it's going to be the garlic powder. And then once again, we're going to go ahead and do the Montreal seasonings, Montreal steak seasoning. I actually use the Montreal steak seasoning in quite a lot of things. Besides steaks, I use them in chicken. I actually use them in fish. I use them on potatoes at times. This time we're not going to put the seasoning on the potatoes though. So basically, as you can see on the screen here, we're liberally seasoning those steaks, and then we're going to flip them over so that the backside gets some of that gooey, delicious bacon grease. So for those health nuts out there, that's what we're using. And then we're going to start off with using some russet baking potatoes. We're going to peel those potatoes, and then we're going to quarter them just like you see on the screen right now. So you're going to see the russet potatoes. I'm peeling the first one there, and I'm taking as much of the skin as possible, and then I'm going to proceed and start with the rest of them here. As you can see, you want to make sure you get all the skin off of those potatoes. Nobody likes to have skin. I mean, some people like skin, right? But I personally don't care for the skin at all. So, but there's our first potato there. It looks like it's peeling pretty darn good from what we can tell. So there you go. There's the first potato, and then I finished the rest of them there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to quarter the potatoes, and basically we're going to cut them in different quarters, and then we're going to proceed to season them. And the way we're going to season those is we're going to use a combination of paprika and the actual Montreal seasoning once again. So basically, as you can see there, I am quartering those potatoes down, and eventually we are going to get to quarter all of those here as we speak. So there's my quartering right there. Look at that, how that's working out pretty well. And, we're almost done with that first potato. And we're going to go ahead and do a speed rush here, and then we're going to show you the final seasoned product. You want to pour those directly on the meat so it absorbs the flavor of the meat that's already seasoned. And then once again, like I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and sprinkle these with paprika and the Montreal seasoning. And right now you'll see the Montreal seasoning as it's being uh, poured on, and of course the paprika as well. And that's all there's to it, folks. There's nothing magical about this steak and potatoes uh, recipe. And there's the seasoned product there. So we're going to go ahead and flip back to our griddle. And our griddle is right here, as you can see. And here is our seasoned product right there. See? There's our steak and potatoes. So we're going to start off, first of all, by using some oil. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and pour the oil right on the griddle, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting our potatoes. So the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to put our potatoes. You see that sizzle going on? And there we go, see? Just like that, we're putting the potatoes. Just like that. And there's my puppies. They want to come outside. Those puppies always want to come outside when there's food. That's Oreo. I can tell the bark from the bark here. And here you go. Go ahead and put these potatoes. Just like that. And you want to put a little bit of oil just so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the griddle. I'm going to go spread some oil just like that. And the next thing you want to do is you want to cover them. It's very important that you cover them. And I'm going to use my griddle cover here. And we're going to go ahead and cover these as we speak. So we're going to let these actually saute themselves on the griddle. And right next to it, we're going to go ahead and start working on our meat. And like I said, this was regular chuck steak meat that is pretty cheap. It's like $7 for both pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and start by putting this to start grilling on the actual griddle, just like that. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pan back into the kitchen. And when we come back, I'm going to go ahead and work on those potatoes and flip them. And then I'm going to work on the steaks to flip them as well. I'll be right back. Black baby boy. Folks, I'm back. Actually, what I'm going to start also putting on the griddle is a hamburger patty, because my daughter is not a big fan of steak by itself. So for her, I've got to get something special, which is a burger. So there is our potatoes right then and there, as you can see. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those potatoes. And we're flipping these over just like this. And I've got my burger over here. Let's flip our steak a little bit. Look at these steaks. Wow. Look at these steaks, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and once again, we're going to go ahead and cover these potatoes so that they actually get steamed. Now, once again, for this episode, I chose to use the Blackstone griddle. It's my go-to griddle. And instead of using the regular grill tonight, I decided, nah, I'm going to go ahead and use the Blackstone griddle for tonight. So, working on getting these steaks nice and cooked. And my burger for my daughter is grilling away as well on the griddle. So, yeah, it's a pretty easy recipe. Like I said, these steaks were like $8 for both. They're chuck steaks. They're thin sliced chuck steaks. And you can get those at the grocery store on sale usually. And, oh, there's the doggies again. They're hungry. They are hungry. I do not know why they are hungry. Actually, because I haven't fed them today. So that's part of the thing, that they're probably hungry. But they love home-cooked food. That's one of the things that is kind of funny about these puppies, is they love home-cooked food, you know. And so I have to be extremely careful with them because they like to eat all that home-cooked food, and I don't like to give them home-cooked food. It's something that most vets are against. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the burger here a little bit. You see how that burger is actually cooking as well. See, that's one of the nice things about this Blackstone 30-inch griddle, is that you can do all kinds of stuff, you know, on it. And you can make, when I've done burgers before, I've done up to like 24 at a time. So you've got a party. That's something that, you know, you want to look into, is having a surface area that's large enough to support a party. There are some Blackstone griddles out there that are like 24 inches, and that works pretty well for a small size family. But typically when, you know, the entire family gets together, we're looking at anywhere from 16 to 18 people. And then if you add friends, then we're talking in the 20s. So it's pretty important for me to have something that's pretty huge. And let me tell you, this Blackstone griddle does the job. It's been a lifesaver a lot of times before. So let's go ahead and look at our potatoes and see how they're cooking along here. Look at that. Look at that. This is awesome. My wife is actually inside. She's actually making some fries for my daughter. These wedge steak potatoes are going to be for me and my wife here. But they are cooking right along. Go ahead and kind of steam them a little bit. And let's flip our burger here one more time. Kind of raise the temperature a little bit. Now, you know, over the last couple of days, it's been pretty cold, at least for us down here in South Texas. Anything under 70 is typically cold. But for me, it's definitely cold. But one of the things that I've noticed when I've been out here during the cold weather, and I've actually used the Blackstone, is that it actually serves as a heater, because it's got 4 burners and they're running under propane, and it just heats. Like right now, I'm feeling all the heat radiating because of that. So it's something that you know, is kind of cool, especially on a cool day, is that, you know, you can actually use your Blackstone as a heater while you're cooking, which kind of makes sense, you know. So I don't know if Blackstone ever intended for them to be heaters, but they definitely serve as heaters. At least for me, it does. I'm going to go ahead and flip these steaks one more time. Look at that. Wow. I'll go ahead and raise the temperature on this a little bit. Yeah, you know, it's been kind of interesting. I wanted to have a couple of more live shows of the show, and for whatever reason, we haven't been able to put out as many shows as we'd like to, um, primarily because I have many shows that I actually do. So as you know, I do the Brownsville Tech Live show, I do a gaming show, we just completed the season for baseball, you know, so we just completed that. We'll start up back next year when baseball season, and we're about to launch probably a football show towards the end or towards the middle, towards the end of football season, primarily to focus on the playoffs. So we're kind of working on a lot of shows, and so this show has I've kind of left it on the wayside, which I really did not intend to. But I mean, as some of you know, this was the cooking show was actually the very first show that I started doing. So it's something that I really would like to gear up on a frequent basis, probably every week or so. But we just have not been able to get as many shows out there as we can. It takes a lot of prep work. You know, doing a show on a particular topic like we do on Brownsville Tech Live is a little easier than actually doing a cooking show because there's a lot of factors involved when it comes to cooking. First of all, you've got to prepare a menu. You know, what is it that you're going to actually make from week to week? So that's problem number one. You know, sometimes you're kind of trying to figure out what would be the best thing to make. And then second of all, there's a lot of things that can happen during a cooking show. Things could burn, things can overcook. I mean, you name it, it happens. So let's go ahead and look at these potatoes and see what's happening there. As you can see, look at how these potatoes are browning up. It's pretty neat here. Look at that. Wow. So we'll go ahead and kind of let these cook a little bit more here. And there's our meat there. It's still going. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to the side now. See if it'll get a little browner. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, it's one of the nice things about owning this Blackstone is that I can actually cook quite a bit of things, and especially during the winter time, you know, I can cook quite a bit without freezing my ass off, which is important. Like I said, for most people, this is probably not cold, but for me, anything under 70 is pretty cold. Oh, and by the way, for anybody guessing, no, I am not a shipped shopper. I actually just joined so that I could get this cool t-shirt with the UFO on it. But no, it definitely is not. I am not a shipped shopper. You will not see me at Walmart shopping, you know, for groceries for anybody. It's just I joined just for the hell of it because I wanted that. I wanted this t-shirt, and that's why you're seeing my shipped shirts, you know. My wife actually uses the shirt more than I do. I had not seen it in a while, so I saw it today, and I thought this would be kind of cool to wear during the show. So that's why I wore it today. And of course, I get to wear it because I don't have to worry about a green screen, unlike my other shows. So look at those steaks; they are browning already. They are browning. Let's take a look at our potatoes and see how it's going there. Wow, look at that. Look at these potatoes. Man, they are browning. Kind of flip the potatoes so that they brown evenly here, you know? There we go. See how I'm kind of flipping them over so that the other side gets brown? Oh, look at how golden they're coming out, man. You know, usually during December in the past, before COVID, we would actually have a Christmas party. And we'd invite friends and family over, and we haven't had that, you know, since COVID. And I was sure hoping to kind of have something, but unfortunately with scheduling and things like that, it's kind of difficult, you know, to kind of schedule a party. But look at how golden these things are coming out. Man, wow. All right, so let me put these back together. Oh, this thing flipped here. Man, this thing flipped. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and cover these one more time. Flip my burger. There it is. It's getting brown. Flip my steaks. Look at those steaks. Man, oh man. I tell you, it's going to be an awesome, awesome dinner tonight. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about these Blackstones is that you can kind of have the diner effect, which is kind of cool, you know. It's not very often that you can get that diner effect when you're doing grilling using the regular barbecue grill, which I have back of me. I have a barbecue grill, but I decided not to grill them traditionally this time around. For those of you that don't know, I have an LED sign with backyard barbecue pit. And for those of you that don't know, I started this show back in 2018, and it went into hiatus at the start of the pandemic, and we're slowly bringing it back, like I told you. But for right now, we're kind of just trying to test the waters here to see how this would work in a live environment, and we'll see you know what we come up with. Maybe we'll do a Christmas special here soon. Look at those steaks. Look at how awesome those steaks look. Let's take a look at these potatoes and see how they're doing. Look at that. Man, oh man. Trying to get them to crisp up completely, you know? Look at the nice, nice crispiness. Look at how it looks. Awesome. Yeah, my doggies aren't too happy. They want to be out here smelling the food. Ah, one of my potatoes came out here. There we go. I want to make sure you cover it and seal it so that the steam comes up here. It's pretty important that you let the steam work its way to those potatoes so that they're fully cooked. So it's a nice night tonight, believe it or not. It's been one of those situations where we've had a lot of rain and it's been pretty dreary and cold for me. And at least starting yesterday, was yesterday Thanksgiving? No, Thursday it was Thanksgiving. Today's Saturday. It started getting warmer. And so we were able to get some nice weather. And like I said, right now it's nice because It's not really cold at all. So we've had some good days of nice warm weather. Go ahead and flip these steaks. Look at how delicious these steaks look right now. And that burger looks pretty good too. Like I said, my daughter doesn't like steak. She wants a burger. It's the same thing. It comes from a cow, but for her, it's different. Don't ask me why. It just is, you know. So if my daughter wants a burger, she gets a burger for the most part. So, uh, yeah. And this looks really awesome. But I think these potatoes are almost done. I definitely know if the meat is done. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking that meat out here. Let's see here. So I've got my little glass container here. And you know, it's pretty important that once you take the meat out that you let it rest so that all the juices can go back into the meat. Now keep in mind that this meat is a very thin cut of chuck steak. So there's not a whole lot of juices seeping back into the meat again, but definitely the only thing left here are the potatoes. So look at how awesome those potatoes look. Look at how golden they look. That is pretty cool. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take these out already. And give me a second here. Look at how beautiful these steaks look. And look at these potatoes. Oh my gosh. My neighbors are having a party next door. So look at that. Look at the steaks. Look at the potatoes. And of course, my daughter's hamburger patty for her burger. So that's pretty much it, folks. This is basically a basic steak and potato dinner along with a hamburger patty for my daughter. Stay tuned for a future episode of Backyard Barbecue Pit, the live edition. And once again, I thank everybody for watching, and we'll hope to see you in a future episode soon. Good night, everybody.